Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, to the 3D section here. As you can see, I'm working on another set here. From the thumbnail you already seen, I've worked more on the spider theme. It was just something that really interested me. And yeah, what I mainly did was work on, well, the interesting part is working on the actual spider web. And as you can see, my first attempt was just cutting away on the full body, and then using parts of that full body to create the web. But one of the problems that I encountered right there was that when I pulled that down to actually being already smoothed down, this was really hard to work with. And also I wanted it separate from the in the end from the full body, because the full body I can basically work with different kinds of design and background, like texture maps and stuff. And for the webs, I actually didn't want them to be 2D and flat. I wanted them to have some depth, so I had to do them separately anyway. Yeah, I also had different design ideas for the whole thing, like neck and having multiple webs on the body, on different different spaces on the body. But in the end, as you can see, my the app crashed a few times, the software crashed, and I decided to just go with the web on the breasts and later on one on the belly. So the web breast is actually a lot of extrusion. As you can see, I've worked from the middle on, and first build the web by extruding and then welding points together. So I extruded all the lines and then welded them together at the intersecting web strands. And the next part was actually just a lot of moving the points. So basically just working on one dimension. As you can see, I'm just moving them backwards onto the body. And this was actually the most time consuming part. The whole video is in 16 times the speed, and it took me a bit about 2 hours to finish this whole thing. Yeah. I worked in a spiral pattern, so I started with the middle, with which and worked outwards. And at some point I switched and worked from the inner side of the body, so from the left side to the right side. But I basically everything that has a certain degree of angle or of rounding is made first. So the centerpiece is definitely made first, so that I have a good idea of how this works, or how this shapes around the breast. And right now you can see that I'm changing the sides. Now I'm working instead of working front to back, I'm working left or right to left actually, and moving the last parts onto the body. I also had to work a bit with the full body here and adapt it, as you can see. So this right now, this is clipping and overlapping. So yeah, what I did next was actually fitting the full body to the web, so that the full body is or that the web is actually part of the full body's edge later, or the border, the hem. I learned that what I usually define as edge is actually called a hem. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to do was give her like a choker or something, and first I thought about pulling this through the middle So basically have it a center line on the body, and then add a spider web on the stomach area. But I quickly thought that this didn't look filigrane enough. This wasn't detailed enough, so I changed a bit. I extruded the part of the web. Yeah. And I also gave it a really high riding side, so that it actually yeah, shows a lot of leg here. Yeah. I then decided to merge the pieces of the web, so that I could use the symmetry tool and actually weld the extrusion of the webs to the choker. What I would tell, if you're doing this yourself, or if you're trying something like this yourself, I would usually say before you weld these parts, especially the one on the neck here, the extrusion from the web to the neck, it would be best, or it would be easiest, if you undo the smoothing, because it's way easier to just to weld the point if it's not smooth down. Yeah, as you can see, well, for the last web I used the extrusion again, or a lot. This was actually like I was just trying another way, and this is way easier. So if you do this, do it like this. Use a single flat surface with, I don't know, depending on how detailed you want the net 6 or 8 faces. No, not faces. Edges on the side. You extrude it once. Add the extra lines for the middle, for the strands, and then you extrude that a few times. And as you may have seen, I've just deleted a few faces in between, and this was way easier and way faster in the end. So what is also easier is that I can now work with symmetry, because I'm working on the whole body, on the left and right side. So I only have to do one side, and the other side is just copy pasted, and this is it's just mirrored, and this is way easier and way faster. Yeah. This is one of the full bodies I did this week. I didn't do that much actually, because as you may have seen, I've also played around with the with morphing and with rigging. But yeah, and the good part is there's 2 renders at the end, which you can enjoy right now. And thanks for watching, and see you guys around.